What are the place values for the digits in the following number? And the number is 3,428,217. Well, let's consider place values. Every digit in a number has a place value. So if we consider the number 3,428,217, we can place it in a table. And if you have a look at the heading to the columns, you can see it's units, tens, or hundreds, all the way up to millions. If you look at the units column, we go from the value of 1 in this column up to the value of 10, an increase of 10. 10 to hundreds is an increase of 10. When you go from hundreds to thousands, the column value has gone up by a factor of 10. And that continues as you move to the left of the columns. Each column is worth 10 times more than the previous column. So let's place the digits of the number into the appropriate columns, as you can see. I'll now bring this to the top of the page and we'll look at each of the digits in turn. If we look at the 3, that's worth 3 times 1 million, which is 3 million. If we look at the 4, that's 4 times 100,000, because we can see the column is marked as 100,000, and that obviously is equal to 400,000. If we look at the 2, that's 2 times 10,000, and that's worth 20,000. If we look at the 8, that's 8 times 1,000, because the column is got a place value of 1,000, and of course 8 times 1,000 is 8,000. If we look at the 2 that's in the hundreds column, then that's 2 lots of hundreds, which are 200. If we look at the 1 in the tens column, there's 1 lot of 10, so it's got the value of 10. If we look at the 7 in the units column, that's got the value of 7, because we have 7 lots of units. Let's consider the digit 2, and we can see it appears in 2 places. When it appears in the 10,000s column, it is worth 20,000. When the digit 2 appears in the hundreds column, then it's worth 2 lots of 100, which is 200. Now you can see I've changed the colour of the column headings to red, because I want to emphasize the column headings and compare it to the other way in which we can write this table down, which is shown here. Instead of writing units, I can put a 1. Instead of writing tens, I can put a 10. Instead of writing 10,000, I can put 10,000. And you can inspect the other columns yourself. An alternative way of writing the table out is shown here, where the units can be written as 1, as we've already seen, but it can also be written as 10 to the 0, because 10 raised to the power of 0 is 1. In fact, anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. If we look at the tens column, we can write it as 10, and that's 10 to the 1. If I look at the thousands column, I can write that as 1,000, but that's 10 to the 3, which is 10 times 10 times 10, which gives you 1,000. I'll just look at the last one. Millions, I wrote it down as a million, and that's the 10 to the 6 column, because that's 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. We've got 6 tens, and they're all multiplying together, which gives a million. So what you're looking at here are the ways in which we can write down tables that show us the values of the digits in any number that's part of the decimal system, or as it's more formally known, the denary number system.